You just tuned into the baddest podcast in the universe. If you don't know, now you know. Well, my man is here. I asked him to come, and he said yeah, and his name is... No, I'm not going to say. Check him out. Mark Marvelous, what's up, my man?
Man, what's good?
It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you,
Thank you for coming, man.
Thank you
just coming off a high, you know, with the Super Bowl with Usher and everything, doing that dance thing. How's it been for you, man, in life? How's it going?
Oh, man, honestly, it's blessed, man. I can't really complain. I mean, God has took me through some trials and tribulations, but you know what? At the end of the day, He's blessed me and showed me what He really can do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's been good, man. Like, Super Bowl was a lot. It was a lot, but I'm just grateful that we got to be on that stage and the entire world got to see it, man. Like, there's no energy like it, like, at all, man. Like, I've done a lot of shows. I performed around the world, but to perform on that one stage when you know the entire world is looking at you, yeah, it's kind of different.
Kind of different. It's a good different, though, right?
Yeah, it's a great different. No, it's a great different.
It's a great different.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, what made you come to Atlanta to move and to live here, to be amongst the whole community?
Well, yeah, you know, I'm born and raised from New York, from Flatbush, Brooklyn. But my parents actually, they had retired and moved here back in 2008. Now I had decided to, because I was, you know, on my path in my journey with dance, I decided to move to LA, and I lived out there for like 8 years, and so I would always come back here for the holidays, you know what I'm saying? Or whenever I had a break or whatever from tour, I would just come back here.
Right.
And I had met my baby mother at the time, and well, my girl at the time.
Right.
And we decided to get married and come out here because her family was from Atlanta lived in Atlanta as well. Okay. So yeah, we just decided to move out here in like 2015. Okay. After my last tour, and then yeah, I just love the vibe here, man. Because I was always coming here for rehearsals with Usher, back and forth a lot, and it kind of became like a second home. I started like driving around and stuff, and I was like, oh wow, I should kind of know how to get around here a little bit. But yeah, Atlanta just has a different energy, man, and it was a good change from LA. You know what I'm saying? LA was great. I love being at the beach and doing that kind of stuff, yeah. But I had missed the seasons changing. Right. Oh, really? Yeah, man. Like growing up, you know, in New York, you feel the winter, the spring, the summer. Like in LA, it's literally just sunny all the time, or it rains. That's the. Well,
at night it gets cold.
And at night it gets a little chilly, but it's never as chilly or cold here as here. Yeah. But no, I like Atlanta, man. It's a good switch up, and it's great because I wanted to raise my family here. I didn't want to raise my family. New York is New York is way too expensive. In LA, I couldn't do it there, but
wasn't the right vibe.
It wasn't the right vibe. Not how I feel. Like here, I feel like it's more family oriented. Yeah. And you know, and most of the family is here. I'd rather just drive to the house as opposed to flying them back and forth.
You know, you're a dancer. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of pressure for dancers. Not just dancing with a recording artist. It's just a hard life. On your knees, on your legs, on your feet, on your body, on your arms, because we know as a dancer, you have to put all of your body motion into it. What is that like for you? What's that like for you?
Lots and lots of Epsom salt.
Yes. With warm water.
With warm water, hot water if you can. Honestly, man, it's been a change. This last 3 years have been a difference for me. I've never felt the pains that I felt recently, but I've learned to. It just made me realize, like, okay, you really gotta just appreciate and take care of yourself a lot more.
Okay.
As opposed to when you're young and it's just like, oh, I can just get up and do it. It's whatever. Okay, yeah, I can try whatever I want. Eating right is so important. Okay. I literally have learned so much about my body because of food.
Nourishment. Proper nourishment.
Proper nourishment is so important. I mean, you know, like, you can work out, but 80% of that is really food and how you nourish yourself. And that's, you know, eating the right stuff all the time. You know, the knee pains and back pains and all that comes from what you eat. The overall other part is stress.
Right, right.
You know, make sure you pray, make sure you meditate, and just let things go.
So you help me understand what your go through is. Mm-hmm. So in the beginning years, you go to auditions, you don't get it. You don't get. What is that like for you, knowing that you're doing all of these things to train your body to be able to pick up dance steps, but you bust your behind and they still don't want you on the particular whatever it is you audition? What is that like for you, knowing that you've been through all of this stuff?
Well, I'm gonna be real. I don't audition like that anymore, except for
beginning years.
In the beginning years, yes. In the beginning years, I honestly, if it's not meant for you, it's not meant for you.
You've always had that understanding?
At first, I had to learn that. And once I was going, because my first year, I was definitely getting rejected a lot.
So how do you learn that? How did you learn that? That's
to be honest, I watched all the other people that was around me that was booking. I was definitely keeping myself around those circles, or in that circle of people that was like working. And I was like, okay, I'm very much back in the day. I was very much the do-rag guy. I was definitely from Flatbush, Brooklyn. Like, I just looked. I was not dressing as clean as I did. It was super baggy, everything was just how I dressed. Like, it was like, but when I watched commercials, I would see people in like colors and just like very, you know, clean looking, clean cut. You show up to auditions with, you know,
with that look.
And I was like, I just noticed. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start switching my game up a little bit. And I did. I started doing that and started smiling more. Like, I wasn't really a smiler like that when it came to dancing. And I would always just dance with like more grit. But when I started smiling, doing the same movement, I'll get booked. And I was like, oh,
wow,
that works. Let me do that. But just really understanding too the detail of the product. Like, what am I auditioning for? Okay, if it's a commercial, this is a Pepsi commercial, okay, well, I'm gonna come in there super vibrant. You know, my energy is up. I don't know whatever the concept of the commercial is. It's like, give that energy of what that is. Same thing for a movie or artist. If you with an artist, study that choreographer, what their style is, what the vibe is, how they dress. You know what I'm saying? That can work. But then aside from all that's just the outside. That's the exterior. But once you get in the room, now you got to come out with the performance. Then you have to show them who you are within what they do. Now that's the deciding factor. Are you a star or are you a background dancer?
Wow. What's the difference?
Big difference. I'll tell you this. How many people, when you watch performances, how many times have you watched an artist and you were like, oh, those dancers are getting off? Or, oh, I really like what this artist has on, or I don't, I'm just like studying with the artist. This artist is dancing way better than their dancers. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just there's a thing, or there's that show was amazing. There was 3 different scenarios I gave you, right?
Right.
You only notice things when something is not right. Star power, if the artist, well, of course the artist is a star for a reason, right?
Right.
So the artist is a star and the dancers are a star, so they're going to be in sync.
Right.
And you're going to look at them like, that show was amazing.
Right.
Okay. If you have a dancer who's just a background dancer, they're just going to blend in. So I personally like to call them, a friend of mine, Kyle, we always joke, we be like, oh, they're just flowers. Because when you look at a bouquet of flowers, they all
just
look
sit there.
The same. Yeah. So no offense, it works though. Flowers sometimes work for a vision and whatnot. Let's take Beyonce.
Okay.
It's flowers.
Right.
You're never seeing a star on stage. You're seeing a bunch of flowers and then Beyonce, one rose.
Right.
That's the difference.
Right.
Now, take Chris Brown or Usher. You'll actually notice as dancers. They all dress differently, but within the same
They bring their vibe.
But they bring their vibe. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody can hold their own on that stage.
Right, no doubt.
Because they have star power.
Right.
Be a character.
Right.
Who are you? Bring something to the table.
Right.
That's what dancers are not learning.
Right.
In these classes. They're just learning how to pick up steps, which is great. But learn how to actually bring something to the table. That's how you become the most necessary person in the room.
Right.
I have worked with Usher for over 12 years. Not because there's a reason why he called me to come back for the residency. Not because I learned steps. It's because I know how to be a star.
Right, and that's what he likes. He wants his dancers.
Michael Jackson did it.
Right. I would even say MC Hammer.
Man,
Hammer.
What?
All of
them. I got
dancers,
chills off of that.
Yeah, their dancers came with the whole vibe. Their own vibe. It was just like all over the place.
Absolutely, man.
And that's what you said. It's like, yo, that's a good show.
Man, shout out to Swoop. Shout out to Goofy. Shout out to all Roro, all of them. All of them, man. Yeah. That's what got me inspired.
You know, true story, Jamaica Craft.
Yeah. Jam session.
During the fan mail for TLC. Mm-hmm. She came into the audition and she didn't pick up them steps.
Yep. I remember
she got that gig because of her style.
Star. She's a star, man.
Period.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
And I said to Jamaica later on after she was in the crew and everything, I said, what was really going on? Why couldn't you pick up the steps? She was like, nah, it wasn't that. I could pick up the steps. I just wanted them to see my style. Mm-hmm. I knew what I was doing. And obviously she is who she is today because of her style. It wasn't so much, let me make sure I get the right 8 step the right way. It was like she kind of, her vibe was like Chili.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Like she
knew it.
Like the way she moved and all of that stuff, it was like, wow, Jamaica's like dope.
Mm-hmm. Still is.
So what you said, I'm solidifying with you that's what that is.
Yeah.
You know, you're not trying to be in line with everybody else like it's 1946 doing line dancing, right?
Right.
You know, it's you bringing your own style, still doing the step, but bringing your smooth, you know, whatever that smooth is. So you work. Let me take you back a little bit.
Yeah.
Before the 12-year Usher, off and on with other artists, you are trying to get a gig. You finally get a gig. It's maybe the kind of money you need. You go on tour. You get per diem. What do you do with your money? Do you blow it? If you do blow it, what does it feel like when you find out you're looking for another gig and you're not going on tour? What is that like for a dancer?
Well,
or for you?
Well, my very first tour, I did blow some money, but I was lucky enough to keep working, but I had that moment where I was like, this money's not as consistent as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
You know, as a dancer, that is the one thing about our careers that is a problem. You have to be smarter now at this point, especially in these days. Golly, it's way more expensive now than it was back then. But for me, I learned that I needed to save my per diem, which I did.
And that's tax-free?
That's tax-free for the most part now. Yeah.
Sometimes they try to put it in.
Sometimes they try
to put it in the what you call it.
I'll be like, man, you better negotiate that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like that. Get that tax-free cash. I always put away money. You know, I take out some for the bills and make sure my bills are lined up for the month. But I always make sure I take out a good chunk and put that to the side because I don't know what's coming up after this, right? The other thing now is, and I didn't know this back then, and I should have. I wish I did, because it would have been different for me in the future. But finding and paying attention to just investments, because you have to think about it. Like if you're on a tour, well, one thing is you're on tour. Say you're on tour for like 3-4 months. Why do you need an apartment?
Ooh.
I made sure I was like, I'm gonna put myself in storage. I was actually renting a house when I first went on tour. I was renting a house with some friends of mine, so I didn't mind at the time because I was like, my boys are living there, and they were dancers too, so we would always be like swapping out. It's kind of like a college house,
right? Gotcha.
But
made sense.
You know what I'm saying? At that time,
yeah.
But once I got like a few years later, when I was just living on my own with, by myself, I was like, man, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? I could just be gone, and when I come back home, I either crash at somebody's crib or whatever. This is the young man talking.
I understand what you mean.
But yeah, like you save so much more money when you don't have rent to pay, and a car note. I didn't have I was like, I think I had just finished finished paying my car note. Now paying my car off.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is what it feels like to not have a car note. Okay, this is great. And be on tour. So I was just like, rack that up. And then the main thing was, how much time am I going to be home for?
Right.
You know your schedule. If you're blessed enough to have a schedule for the year, know that schedule. You know what I'm saying? And also know that not everything is guaranteed. Because
a tour can stop.
A tour can stop.
It's not doing well, or the promoter messed up something.
The artists just don't want to do it no more. It could be anything. But luckily, I've been blessed where I did not experience that, but I've seen it. I've seen it happen to others, and I was like, damn, that sucks. Like,
Yeah.
But you create other streams of income, teaching classes, especially while you're on the road.
Yeah, I see you do that a lot.
Yeah, that's one thing I've never stopped. One, I do it for a few reasons, but financially, because that's another stream of income. Like, why not travel around the world? It's not on their dime, but they can get me to teach. I'll go and do that. I do that really because I look at it as like my way of giving back to dance. Because I don't, besides, I haven't, when I'm working on tour, I don't get the opportunities to hire people like I do when I'm home.
Okay.
So if I'm home, I can hire dancers and give them that blessing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
the opportunity.
Yeah, but if I don't, at least I could just reach out and get to these new people and teach them what I've learned or my experiences. When I was growing up as a kid, I knew nothing about a dance career. I didn't know dancers got paid. I didn't even think about it like that. I just knew I liked it. It was fun. But I remember I was like, I must have been like 13, 12. I learned from Mr. Wiggles. There was a dance company called the Hip Hop Dance Technicians. My hip hop dance teacher from my junior high school, she liked me because she thought I was really good at picking up steps, and she was like, you should come to Manhattan and come to our dance company. And he was like kind of mentoring the dance company. And I was
Mr.
like,
Wiggles.
Mr. Wiggles, yeah. And I was like, I used to watch his tapes all the time. So I was like, mind you, I'm a little chunky kid. So I was like,
oh really?
I could glide. And I started trying to glide in front of him. I was like, it was so terrible. It was bad. He was like, yeah, you gotta keep working on that. Yeah. But
so he was being nice.
Yeah, he was trying to be nice, but he's like, keep working on that. But yeah, and I like that kind of. It's so crazy because I look at that, I'm like, God really like kind of set me up for this future that I didn't know I was gonna have.
Wow.
Like I that was in junior high school. When I got to high school, I was playing football. I wasn't even thinking about
not dancing.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Because football and dancing don't go together at all.
Nah.
Because you can catch a real injury.
Yeah,
not dancing.
I couldn't do it at the same time at all. But again, I still knew nothing about a dance career.
It wasn't nowhere in your eye.
I was never like, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was trying to figure out, real 9-to-5 jobs. Like, what can I do to get money when I get out of, high school or whatever. And when I started college, but I didn't finish. I was paying it out of my own pocket, and I was like, yeah, this is expensive. So I ended up just getting like a little security job, and I remember I was working at a women's clothing store.
Right.
I was a security guard there,
mm-hmm.
and I remember a friend of mine had called me one day and was like, "Yo, Sean Paul." So in Brooklyn, like a lot of dance hall was my element. That's just what I really started from.
Because all the beats and the vibration of the
and my
bass.
Parents are from Barbados, so like that's just what I was raised on.
I got some of that in my blood.
Yeah, but they, we mixed that with hip hop, like with the hip hop culture and style, and Sean Paul. This is when dance hall was like really blowing up, like the Dirty Rock album was going crazy, like it was like whoa. So he was filming a music video out in Brooklyn, and I was like, my boy had called me and was like, yo, I'm out here right now at this club called the Arc. We used to go there a lot to parties and stuff, and he was like, yo, Sean Paul's here shooting a video right now for Like Glue. He's like, yo, they looking for more dancers. I was like, I swear I thought he was gaslighting me, bro. I was like, there's no way Sean Paul is in Brooklyn, bro. Like, why would he be in Brooklyn, bro? No. I was like, you're lying. He's like, bro, I'm looking at him right now. Come down here. I was like, all right. So me and my homegirl got in the car. She drove, because she had a car. I didn't have a car.
No doubt.
She drove me down there. And sure enough, Sean Paul was in there. And his dancers, he had some local dancers that I knew that was in the video with him. And then he had his dancers from Toronto. And a friend of mine, this cat named Silk Smooth, he knew Tanisha Scott, which was his choreographer. And that was the first time I ever met her. And like I hands down will always say, if it wasn't for that woman, I would not be where I'm at. She was the sweetest. She still is the sweetest and kindest person I've ever met in my entire life. And she literally like just blessed me. I was like, yo, I just want to be in a video. I was like, I ain't know nothing about. I ain't asked for no money or nothing. I just want to be in a video because I wanted to say I was in this video. That's it. And she's like, oh no, that's cool. She's like, Benny Boom was directing. He was like, nah, that's cool. Yeah, you want to freestyle? We actually need more freestyles. I was like, cool. So when I finally
that's because you dope, and that's because God opened that door.
It was crazy.
So this humble man that you're like, I'm allowing you to just like speak and say what you need to say, and I'm noticing that your story is humble. Like you like humble pie. Not that doesn't come off like, let me be humble so I can.
Yeah.
Where did this humbleness come from? Like, did it come from mom, dad, grandma?
Yeah, I would say it definitely came from my family. But more so me just understanding and knowing like God opens the door, man. Like it ain't nothing else. I really don't come from anything else that. You know what I'm saying? My parents don't even understand what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? My dad, like, rest in peace, he just passed away like 5 months ago.
Sorry to hear that.
But he, old Bajan man, like, they don't know that world. They don't know this world at all. Like, he really thought I was just doing it as a little phase and, it'll pass by and I'll just get back to what I want to do. But, when he saw me on stage, I took him, his first time ever seeing me on stage for real was I brought him when I toured with Alicia Keys. And I brought him to the show, and then he met Alicia Keys backstage, and he was like, oh, you do this for real?
Wow.
So, okay. And I was like, yeah.
After all the commercials.
After all the commercials.
All that.
I Am Legend. I did all that stuff. And when he finally met her in person, he was like,
he got it. He had it.
Okay. You know, he's heard I was good, but then when he saw it on stage, he was like, wow. Like, you're really...
How did that make you feel that family didn't quite understand your passion?
I wasn't mad at them because I understood that they don't know. They just didn't know. And I knew that I came into this generation. My generation was just different from theirs. And I was just blessed to be, you know, I was raised in New York. They weren't raised in New York. They were raised in Barbados. And it's a country where, you know, you just stick to these, you know, guidelines. It's like you go to school, you go find a good job, and you have a family. And that's just what it is. And I was like, I was in that. I was just in that zone. I didn't know until I met Tanisha. God just kind of said, no, let's veer this way. Because you really like dance.
Right. So it sounds like to me that you don't allow somebody else's thoughts to penetrate where you're going.
You can't. If you really have a dream and you want to see it fully through, it can happen, but you gotta see nothing. You gotta just see that God is gonna see you through it and not worry about anything else. Like other people's opinions, other people's voices, if they not pushing you in that direction, then and you know it in your heart that this is what you want, then they're not for you to be. It's not for them. But you can't be mad at them for that. It's not their dream. My mom always heard that I was such a great dancer. She always, like, everybody would go to her when I was young. They would just go to her like, your son got a future in this. Mm-hmm. And she was like, okay, but she didn't know what else to do.
Right.
And I'm just grateful for her because she actually took me to meet Mr. Wiggles and all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom was like, you can't go on the train by yourself. You're only 12. You ain't about to go to Manhattan all by yourself. Like, I'm going to take you down there. But she couldn't take me out all the time. And I was like just grateful that she even let me, you know, do that.
But that's a good thing, man, because I was different. I was different that it kind of bothered me. My mother was an educator, a teacher. My path was education. And although she was a dancer when she was younger as a youngster, when I came along, I don't know what it was, but she wanted me to do the singing and the dancing and do all of that stuff. She was there for that. But as I got older, it was like, okay now.
Right.
You know, and it kind of, for me, it kind of did bother me that it was like, why? Like she wasn't looking at what I wanted to do. It was more like, son, it's time to get serious. Yeah. And it's amazing that it didn't, you're saying it didn't bother you, but for me, it bothered me.
It's only because, and I understand, it gets like that though. Like, with my dad, I would say he definitely didn't see it at first, but he also wasn't like pushing it because he seen how hard I was going. Like, I literally, once that year, when I did those first 2 videos, I told him, I sat with him and I told him, I was like, yo, like, I really want to do this. And I was like, the only thing is, I have to quit my job and I have to really focus in on auditioning. I had quit my job, so I told my dad, and I was like, yo, like, I just need a year. I was like, just give me a year to, like, I just want to try it. You know what I'm saying? If it doesn't work, I'll get back. I'll find a regular job, and that's it. And he gave me the opportunity to say, all right, cool. So I came back home for that year.
Very supportive.
Very supportive in that. He was like, all right, I just want to see you, you know, let's see what you do. Throughout that year, I was booking commercials. I was booking some... Auditioning
and getting it, or just people calling you?
No, auditioning. That was my first year, so I was all auditions. I was just auditioning. And there was that year in 2004, I had booked a job with Mia Michaels, this contemporary choreographer. I don't do contemporary at all. But my agent at the time was like, hey,
it's an opportunity.
Try it. You know what I'm saying? I learned it. I did good. And I got called to come to the callback to freestyle. I did that. I guess they loved me. And I ended up...
You guessed they loved you?
Right. Yeah. They ended up booking me. And it was a job that lasted about 5 months in Greece.
Wow.
So I basically had to live in Greece for 5 months.
Wow.
So
at a young age. So you grew up kind of quick once you went over there for that.
Oh, let me tell you, the industry will grow you up. It as soon as you.
What do you mean by that?
When you get on the road, there's no mommy and daddy, there's no chaperones or nothing. It's all about you. You got to understand how to control your money, control your spending. It's on you. Everything's on you. So you are an adult. Like, it's just like, I mean, I don't know about living in the college years. Like, I don't know about living in a dorm and all that stuff. But like, to me, that was my college years.
Right.
Being on that tour bus and being in
Greece.
But in Greece, I was actually just it was more so like a residency.
Okay.
It was actually like a residency. I actually stayed there. I had a hotel, and I would just be back and forth from the theater to there, and it was like maybe like around the corner. It wasn't far.
Yeah.
But to be there for 5 months and learning a whole new culture, it was just like, wow.
Using their money,
learning their language. It was a great experience. I needed that experience because it was my first time like away for real and understanding like, okay, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? I'm away on my own.
I definitely want to know when you found out. Mm-hmm. You're on tour, Greece, wherever it was that you got the understanding about what I'm about to say, that you ran out of money. What did that feel like? Like, wow, I didn't spend too much money.
Well, I was never on the road to spend too much money. I was never on the road. It was always when I got home, because it was always I'm home now. I don't know when my next gig is coming up, but I got all these bills. My bills are paid off. How am I going to eat? How am I going to do? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's when I realized, like, oh, you got to find something else to kind of help you get by.
And during those times, what was the something else back in
those days? I was actually like a party promoter. I would like hustle and just like, you know, I knew a lot of friends that were throwing parties a lot, so I would get paid to like help, you know, promote parties. That was the easy. In New York, that was kind of easy. Because I knew everybody, I knew a lot of people, so I would get around and stuff.
So was that like street team stuff?
Street team type, yeah, that type of stuff. Back in them days, yeah.
They're like putting flyers on
putting flyers around, talking to people, just kind of just getting people to come on your list, because you get you get paid off for people to come through your list, not just putting flyers on. So like I would have my own list at the club and be like, yeah, just tell them you're on Mars list. I get my check later. I'll get my cash later or whatever at the night. But that was like that. Was probably the only other hustle. That, and then trying to do shows, like if I could, like club shows with other, like a dance. I had a dance company that I was a part of, so we would try to do stuff and just promote ourselves and kind of, you know, get us to that point.
Wow.
Making some cash, but it was a hustle, man. It wasn't hard. It wasn't easy at all. It was actually really hard.
It's real.
It's real. Like, yeah.
That's what this show is supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Is to help others understand how to get through the challenging times, you know, and for you to want to share is what we need for them to grab, so that they can know that they can too be successful.
I wish the things I would tell. Here's something. As you said, I was like, I wish I could have told myself back in the day, like, hey, take this money and buy a house. Okay, I'm gonna tell you one story. I know I'm still kicking myself over it. I had one of my highest paying jobs was I Am Legend. I was one of the creatures in the film. I know they did CGI over our bodies, so I know you were like, oh,
I Am Legend. That's with Will Smith.
Yeah, and that when I saw that contract, that was the first. I was like, when I tell you how I was when I first got paid at General, I was like, wow. When I saw this contract, I was like, oh. But excuse my language, sorry. But it was so great, but I was so immature in the sense of I didn't buy a house. Now, if I had bought a house back then, life would have been a little different for me. So
how so?
Now that I know about investments in property and really real estate is what it's about, I would have. That was back in 2006. I'm still thinking myself right now.
Houses are cheaper.
Houses were way cheaper back then.
Yeah.
But I knew nothing about Atlanta either. I wish I'd have known about this. I wish I'd have really clicked in and said, you know what? Let me get into real estate. Let me own something so I can have something for the future. Even just to have a home of your own paid off. You know what I'm saying? That would have been something to even just be like, oh, okay, I'm good. I'm just gonna pay these taxes and that's it. I knew nothing of that. But you know, you live and you learn. Right. I know way better now. And those are things that I know. I'm like, okay, if I could have took that money and invested in something that could have still made me money to this day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Pandemic would have happened, I'd have been like, okay, cool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'd have been straight. But
right.
Those are the things that I'm like, yeah. Now it's like, okay, now you know better. How do we move forward? So now it's like, look at investments, look at different things that I can get into, or just creating different lanes for the streams of income to come in.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I always did dancing when I was in groups and stuff. I never really was into the dancing behind recording artists or being in videos, and I just never
was a thing. Yeah.
Was in my mind. But the challenges of a dancer at the level that you play today, what are those challenges?
One of the challenges right now, I would say, is the new generation right now is very much, and I think it's not just dance, actually. It's actually everything. It's that microwave mentality. And when I say that, I mean just the mentality of like, I'm here now. I want it now. I should be paid this. Like
it's popcorn, you put it in the microwave. 2.5 minutes later, it's done.
Right. I've been taking dance classes for a month now, so I'm ready to book. Can you book me on this? I'm ready to do Super Bowl. You're just not ready yet. People don't understand that. Like, it takes time. It takes time to marinate your star power. It takes time for you to own who you are and know what you're bringing to the table.
You've said star power multiple times. Can you define what you mean exactly? Because some people might think, star as relating to someone that is a celebrity. I don't know if that's what you're meaning when you say your star power.
No, that's not what I'm meaning. Okay, so I have a brand called Sauce Kings. The reason why we call ourselves Sauce Kings is because we're all about flavor, style. Our sauce, what's your sauce? My sauce ain't, me and you ain't got the same sauce, but you got sauce. You can tell by the way they dress. You can tell by they walk in the room. You can tell by the way they talk. You can tell by, it's the confidence. It's just it's the aura. It's the, what's the word? It's je ne sais quoi.
Right, they have it.
But that shows through your dance. That shows through your performance, rather. You know what I'm saying? Are you on? Are you off? Are you know what I'm saying? Like, how you carry yourself. It's like, that's what that is. But that's what every celebrity has. There's something about them that you like. There's something about you that attracts them, that attracts you to them, to make you, you love something that they do every time. Or it's just how they are. You know what I'm saying? Some people just got confidence, man. Like, it's just like, pfft. Jay-Z. That is the epitome of confidence, bro. Like, I've been in rooms with him and I'm just like, yo, people are all like, yo, that's Jay-Z. We all do that. But it's really, the man is just a man. He's just a man. He just understands himself so much. I am literally...
So the star power would be you knowing who you are.
Owning who you are.
And being that we had Ray Daniels on here recently, and he called it the character. Know your character.
Know your character.
Know what that is. And that, so the star power isn't so much I'm a star.
No,
it's that you know who you are and you know how to move in life in a way where you can be successful.
And it's unapologetic. It's not anything to be, it's not fake.
Right.
You're not faking it.
Right.
That's just who you are.
Let me wear purple because I want people to know this about me.
Yeah.
Or let me wear these glasses here on my face, but let me put some on top of my forehead so I can get recognized. That's not
it.
That ain't
unless that's really you.
Unless that's
you
really
move like that. You move like that. Like that's how I dress.
It's like if you take Prince and you take Michael Jackson.
100%.
Right?
They did that on their own.
It would be like taking you, Mark Marvelous, and looking at Achman Jones. You are both dope dancers, choreographers, but you all have your own style, your own juice. And you know what it is when you walk in the room.
Absolutely. That's it. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying because that makes, to me, that's a star. Like, you're a star for that, man. Like, you fresh. Jamaica Craft.
Right.
Like you just said, when she was in with
auditioning. Right.
That's a star. She knew, she owned herself. She knew it.
Right.
She knew that, you got to see me.
So that helps with you winning in life. It's like it's you don't want to go in the room and be somebody else.
Never.
You want to be yourself. You want to be like yo, if they don't like me, oh well.
Yeah.
If they don't think I'm the right fit for this, oh well.
Yep.
Like you said, you went to auditions in the beginning years after audition, and you just never stopped. Yeah. And what made you never stop? Like, what is it that? I mean, for me, when I first started, I didn't like auditioning.
Yeah, I know.
It was a weird feeling. Like I gotta go before these people, and they have to judge me.
Yeah.
And that judge that they're doing upon me is not really like positive.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out who to say no to. They're not trying to look the way I was looking at it. They're trying to figure out who to say no to instead of who to say yeah to.
There are some auditions like that. I would say that there are some auditions.
So how was you able to just like keep going? Like,
there was times where I wanted to stop, but I'm telling you, man, I just wanted it. It's something different. I knew God didn't put me this far to put me this far. You know what I'm saying? Like I never felt like my career was going to stop my career could have stopped at Grease. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, nah, there's more.
But even this, like, we're saying business, but even in your regular life, you never quit.
Yo,
you have 2 daughters.
The craziest thing, yo, like, after I toured, I did the URX tour with Ush back in 2014. And that was my last tour. Like, I just wanted to choreograph after that. I was like, I just want to choreograph. Now, granted, some people probably thought I was still young and was like, nah, I mean, you should still dance. And I was like, nah, I'm cool.
Get in, hit it, and quit it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm cool. I'm going to just come out here. I wanted to move out here because I wanted people to take me serious. I can actually choreograph. I've been doing stuff anyway, assisting people. I was like, well, let me step out and just show you how I can do some stuff. Okay. Now, when I got here, I will say it was hard at first. So it was like, I started like looking at money and stuff like that. I was like, do I need to get a regular job? Do I need to like, because I want to act. I don't know what I'm doing, Lord, but I want to get into it. Okay. I had to keep faith and just try to see when these doors kind of show themselves. And I'm like, okay, boom, Jamaica, I want to do this. Boom, I'm going to do this. I want to be over here. Call me. Yeah, I'm in Atlanta. You want me to work on this job? Yeah, cool. I'll come back to LA and work, whatever. I just need some money right now. So I'll go back to LA, come back, whatever I got to do. But I knew especially when I had kids, that's when I knew I was like.
2 beautiful daughters.
I have 2 daughters that I was like, the biggest thing in my life that I wanted to show them was that, yo, you can do anything you want to do. I've been in this game for a while, but I don't, it's funny, somebody else told me this the other day, like, you don't carry yourself like, your energy is way bigger than who you carry yourself as. Like, when you walk, you could tell you have a bigger energy than what you portray.
Right.
I was like, I guess, I don't really, because I don't.
You don't think about it.
I don't think about it, but that's not something I strive off of. I literally love to create, and I love stories like this, like doing this and like talking about, like, you know, it's crazy. Like, this the first time after we did Super Bowl, I was like, wow, I can actually really talk now. I feel like I have so much to say now. Like, I have been in this industry for 21 years, and I have literally been with the top people.
my
career is like that long.
But you know what? Let me pause you on that. The way I view you, and the stuff that I know now, at the age I am, been in it since '85. They are successful because you are a part of it. It's not like sometimes being the other talent that most people don't focus on, like we focus on the celebrity.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes is as important.
It is.
Meaning the person that's, if it's a road manager, if it's the production manager.
Everyone.
If it's a technical director like what Alfred is doing right now, that is, to me, knowing what I know now, is as important.
Yes.
It's not that the recognizable face is more important,
right?
Because it is as important. You, Mark Marvelous, you are as important because if you were not there, it wouldn't go the way that it needs to go. Right. That's not big head. That's not giving big head.
No.
That's saying like, yo, at the end of the day, you working with all these people because the energy, the who you are, the dad that you are, the son that you are, the friend that you are, like you're just taking that and putting it on a big stage.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And then being this choreographer / dancer, and what we know you as is like, you don't mind, even if you're not named the assistant choreographer or you're not the choreographer, you still share.
Cause I know what it takes. Like it's not about. If I like magic. I like to make magic. If I'm gonna be a part of something, I want it to be magical. So like, I want it to be great. Like Beyonce's Coachella, I didn't audition. I literally called Jaquel. My wife was pregnant at the time with our first child, and she couldn't. She was dancing with Beyonce for years, and she was like, obviously pregnant. So it was like, all right, well, you can't do it. I'm gonna call. I was like, I ain't doing nothing. I wasn't touring, so I called him. I was like, yo, like, you want dudes? He hit me back with all these eye emojis, like, you want to do it? I was like, yeah, I'll do it, man. But he, we worked together back on Britney Spears, but he never thought about me coming for Beyonce. So when he saw that, he was like, yo, come on. And we just made this whole thing. And I was like, yeah, I want it to be great, just like she does. So when I came in and just saw how everything just flowed, it was like, oh yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That character or what you say, that star that's in you, it only adds to what is going on.
Yeah.
Like stop.
Yeah.
And I'm people that know me, I don't like no egos. Yeah. I try to shut the ego down because at the end of the day, we're all human. We're all human, and if you're on my platform, right? But the way I look at it is there is no platform if a Mark Marvelous doesn't decide to come on. Like there's nothing there.
Yeah.
Even CC, my wife who's not here today, Beauty, Alfred, whoever's here, it's like I don't get into the I'm the man.
Yeah.
It ain't about that. It's about all of us cohesively working together to come up with something that people can enjoy and that they can grow from.
Yep.
And I see that in you. When I first met you, like you was just Mr. Humble.
I'm telling you, God knows, I'm like, God, I just want to create.
Have you ever had to have humble pie? You know what that term, humble pie? Like you doing this, and then something has to humble you?
Oh yeah. I always recognize it too. It's just certain things, well, I'll say this. One of the first things that maybe changed the way I was thinking too, and I always remember this. It was my first tour. I was with Black Eyed Peas, and we went to
See, another, like you're saying, Black Eyed Peas, that's another dope entity of music that they bring this whole nother vibe, and you are able to mingle and mix into it. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, you're right. But we went to Ethiopia, and I remember just like it was at a day off. We was walking in the streets and I was like, man, like they have a fraction of what we have here, but they were so happy. Like they were so genuinely happy, and I was like, wow, like they just were happy to see us, and just like me, like I was playing with some of the kids and stuff, and I was just like, why the hell would we be so stressed and mad?
Why is that?
It's ego. It's just it's so much of fabricated stuff that doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't matter. These people over there like just happy, bro. And I was like, so I gotta chill out with all the stuff that I complain about. They don't have no cars. They barely got any clothes that we wear. You know what I'm saying? But they don't care. They do not care.
They're happy.
They're happy. Like they were so happy. They just wanted my hat. Like one kid was like, can I have your hat? And I was like, yeah. I remember I used to walk with mad like caps and stuff. So I was like, and the next time I came back, I didn't go back to Ethiopia, but I was like, next time I go to Africa, I'm gonna bring all my hats and just give them. Because I just was like, if that's gonna make people happy, let's do that. Because what am I doing here with it? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna wear them, and then I'm probably not gonna wear them no more. So if I give it to somebody else that want to wear them, you know what I'm saying? But I just want that type of happiness for myself. Because if I don't need to if you don't have to have money, you don't have to be sad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I think us Americans, if we have money, we're happy.
But that's how the culture like puts it on it, like brainwashes us that way. It's cool. Don't get me wrong. You can use money.
It's a necessity.
It's a necessity.
It's up there with air.
But it's not.
You gotta have some air to breathe.
I need a little air to breathe.
Yeah.
Like if you got your family, like you got kids, I got kids. Like when we got our kids, like yesterday, I just was coming here and I was playing a video. I just bought my girls bikes, and they got their training wheels on it, and I teach them my 4-year-old how to ride, like how to really ride. And I was just like, and she was doing it, and I was just like, that hit my heart. Like, damn, bro, like that's what makes me happy. That's what it's about. So to get them and have them grow up in the right space, that's what it's about for me. Like I'm not, because that's real. I come from real. One of my aunts told me, she was like, yo, when I first started in the business, she was like, hey, yo, just don't forget where you come from. And I was like, I never will. I can't. Like, I don't come from fake. I just can't do that. I can't do that. Like I've seen too much realness in my life to not. I lost my brother when I was like 11 from being murdered. Like I just.
Yeah, my brother got killed too, murdered too.
It's like when you see all that. Yeah. You said it like we're human, bro.
Right.
We're human, but we're just enjoying this. We're just enjoying our experience.
It's a job.
It's a job, but we're enjoying our experience. We're doing what we love to do. And I'd rather do what I love to do to make money than do something I don't want to. Because I don't want to sit there and complain about a 9-to-5 every day. I don't want to do that. No. I don't want to hate my boss. I don't even know them like that.
Right.
Why do I want to hate this person?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because they telling me what to do? Nah.
Right.
That's not cool. But don't get me wrong. People out there that are working at 9-to-5s, like, I commend them because that is really hard to do. Like,
right.
A few.
And they might be happier than most.
And some of them really are because they got their plan. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there that's like, yo, if I work this amount of hours, I can finally get my house. Dope.
Right.
You're making that plan for yourself. But you're the fact that you're able to do that, you're getting something you love.
Right.
Because when you get that house, you're gonna be like, I got that house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I finally got to my peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, my dad passed away, but, like, he got to retire. He didn't really feel like traveling. He just was like, I just want to, because he worked so much in his life, he just wanted to sit down. He just wanted to sit down and chill.
Speed up and just chill. Do what he wants.
Just do whatever he wanted to do. Sometimes he go outside and do his little errands. He'll come back and he'll just chill and watch some TV. And I was like, I get it. I didn't understand it at first. I was like, you don't want to just go see the world? You know what I'm saying? But he's like, nah, I'm good. He did that already.
So you're in the business, you said 21 years?
21 years.
How did you learn to stay focused, like mind your business? You see this going on in certain rooms. How did you learn this tactic? Because we all do it. We all learn to do it. But how did Mark Marvelous learn to stay focused and not be distracted by the other stuff? Because there's a lot to talk about. There's a lot of stuff on the internet.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a lot of lies about stuff that happened at stuff, and you might have been there, and you're like, that didn't even happen, but you don't say nothing. You keep it moving.
Yeah, because it's not important. It's like at the end of the day, this is a job. This is my job. I gotta come to work every day, and you know, there's no reason to. I don't see a reason, at least, to bring things into other people's attention, or you know, it's just not important. It's not, or you know, people. And the thing about it is too, like tabloids and social media and all that stuff. Like they talk. They're always gonna talk. So why should I be the reason they talk? I don't need to get into that. It's not my problem. Like I said, I got my kids. I got my own problems I got to deal with.
Yeah.
I don't need to get into nobody else's business. I'm cool on that. I just here to do my job, make sure this is all we perfect, we good. All right, cool. That's my job. I'm not getting into any other riffraff.
Right.
I'm cool with that, man.
And when you see others get into riffraff, maybe other dancers and maybe other artists, how do you help them?
No, I've always, from my time in this business, I've always told young dancers, I was like, hey, don't get me wrong, every dancer should experience LA. You should, because that's the mecca of dance as far as work. You know what I'm saying? You should experience it, know what it's like to be out there and get out there, but don't get caught up. Parties, being around certain people, yeah, everybody's in your face. You know, it sounds good. If it sounds good, it's probably if it
not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Like, don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't fall in.
There's drugs, of course.
There's
women.
Stuff. Yeah, there's all that.
There's
stuff.
all of that stuff that's always gonna be there.
It's always going, and that's the thing. It's always gonna be there. That's why I know it's like it's not important, man. Does it stick to the plan? What's your plan? You know what I'm saying? Like, I thought about this the other day. I was like, man, I wish I would have thought about. I wish I'd have had my 5-year plans set up
back then.
Like, now I'm like thinking about it only because I got kids, and it's like, damn, it took me this long, but it's okay.
But it happens. It happens. That's life.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I got caught up in the sense of just enjoying the blessings of being and traveling the world and doing what I love to do. I got caught up in that.
Yeah. Getting your passport.
You know what I'm saying? I got caught up in that, but yeah, I always tell them, man, don't fall for the Kool-Aid. Don't drink the Kool-Aid out there, man. Like, it's cool, but know that
it ain't real.
It ain't real, and this is the thing. As performers, as dancers, when you're on these jobs, you're living a fraction of these artists' real life. Just a fraction. You know, the police escorts, the dinners, the jet, the G5 flights, all that.
The private G5.
The private flights and all that.
Right.
I've done all that stuff.
Right.
Great. It ain't me. It ain't my dime.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, they know they might know who I am because of this person, but after this day passed, they don't know who I am. I can't fly back in. I cannot fly back to Vegas.
Well, let me add this to the world of podcasts. Mm-hmm. Many of the artists, that's not their life.
This is true.
It's promoters.
This is true.
Businessmen that's trying to connect it, and it's just you just can't.
Some artists,
not
some,
all, but some of the artists.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
That's not their life.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when I first came into business, and I would travel with whatever group I was with at the time, and when it was time to go home, all right, it's time to go back to reality. Reality is what it is, real life.
You know, it's trippy. It's funny. Like somebody told me this the other day. I was having this conversation. Just like, why do we always feel like? Because we always say that, oh, time to go back to reality, and we make it seem like our reality is
not
whack.
Good.
Yeah, like not good.
And it's not whack. It's good.
It's good. Like it's still good, but like this is our reality too. Like the reality is, yeah, I was damn near living in Vegas. Damn, you know, I just did Super Bowl. Yeah, that is my reality.
That is at the time.
But this is part of my reality.
Right.
It's just getting to the other part. And I had to, when he said that to me, I was like, yeah, I didn't say it, but somebody else had said it. And I was like, that's true. I got to change my way of thinking. Because that isn't, you making it, we always make it seem like because we had so much fun on this one time, and now I got to go back to no fun. It's like,
yeah, it sounds like that.
You know what I'm saying? It's not that. But, no, like, that is part of their reality too. Like they are able, they have a name that's enough for these promoters to contact them and make these things happen and have these experiences with or without dancers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm speaking more in terms of allowing that G5 plane to be your end all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about being on stage.
Like now you feel like I made it type.
Yeah, like New Edition did a record a long time ago, and Ralph was singing and saying, like, we're on stage, but then after the concert, you go back to the on stage and nobody's in there. Mm-hmm. And it's like, wow, where did everybody go? There was all these screaming fans.
It happens like that.
Yeah, and it happens so quick. Some people, not you, because I know you don't get caught up in the lights. That's what I mean when I say sometimes people get caught up in.
Oh no, you can see
as
it
if
too.
That is, you know what I mean?
I'll be watching young people, and I'll be like, oh yeah, they green, they excited.
But let me ask you this question: bands, drummer, guitarist, saxophonist, trumpetist, whatever. Who's the craziest? Which group is the craziest? Is it the drummers, saxophonists? Like sometimes when you have bands around, some people might say saxophonists, they like the ladies.
Oh.
Okay, drummers, you might be like, what I think. I think drummers are crazy. We got a drummer at the council right now.
Yeah.
You know. So in your experience.
So like what? Like who gets the most attention?
Or who? I say the craziest, right? Craziest, like they like the one that got to have all the attention.
Oh, that's funny.
They gotta whatever. It's just something, a running joke we have around here to try to figure out.
Well, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. Drummers are pretty crazy. The drummers I know that, and they fresh, man. But
they dope.
They dope, but they crazy. Yeah. No, yeah. I would say drummers.
Yeah, I was just. We sometimes have these conversations with the guests and just to see what they think. You know what I mean? That's that, man. I just wanted to find out from you, Mark Marvelous, because I know you're a marvelous dude. You've been around the block, and then been around the block, and then been around the block. So I know I could ask you that question and get an honest answer out of you.
No, drummers are definitely crazy, man. Oh my God.
And who's from your experience, who's the coolest of the different
out of the bands?
Out of the bands.
The most chill?
Yeah, the chill or ladies or whichever way you would break them down.
See, it's just I'm thinking about too many different people. That's why I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah.
The keys are always like chill, laid back, kind of like for the most part. It'd be keys. They be like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Play them a little soft.
Yeah. And last question. Dancers. I don't want to get you in trouble.
Uh-oh.
Where are the dopest dancers born and raised? Damn. I seem to think during my time it was a lot of St. Louis dancers.
I ain't gonna hold you. That's exactly what I was about to say, bro.
They are
It's something about St. Louis. I say this to all my homies, Jamaica. Like, I don't understand what's in the water, cause there's so many St. Louis dancers that I know that are different, like style wise. Like their styles are different, but they all fresh. I don't know not one person that's whack from St. Louis. Like,
and they pick up the steps so quickly.
Not even just picking up steps. Like they just
their style.
They just cold by themselves. Like you just like. They got like star power. Like
that was about to say.
They all got it. Like I'm just like, how are y'all dope? Like I don't get it. Like we had a lot of St. Louis people actually on Usher working. And I was just like, this is crazy.
Something about them, man. I don't know what it is.
Hey, it's something about St. Louis.
I used to be like, you from there too?
Yeah, no, for real. Like I literally like, I just gotta shut up. I don't get it. Like I just don't understand. I was like, maybe I should have been I should have probably went to St. Louis for a little bit.
Like, I mean, I'm not knocking New York. I'm not knocking LA.
100%. No.
I'm not knocking Atlanta. None of that.
New York, but like literally everybody. No, I mean, don't get me wrong. New York is fresh, but you can see some people in New York who just ain't that good.
Right.
I have not seen anyone, and I asked them, I'm like, can you please? I've asked people from St. Louis. I'm like, just tell me somebody that you know that's whack or just don't got it. Like,
now, I will say New York was back in the day when everybody was breakdancing and popping. Mm-hmm. That was definitely more dancers out of New York.
That was that era. Yeah, that was that era. That era was different. Like even now, it's different now. Like you don't even see as much anymore. Like I haven't been home in a long time, but the younger generation now is still like it's not as many. Not as much as back then, I would say.
Right.
Like back then it was like, yo, cruise, you had your, you know what I'm saying? But in St. Louis it's like.
So your daughters, will they dance? Mom and dad are dancers?
They are in dance class now. And it's funny, we were talking about just like that humble pie. I remember during the pandemic, me and me and their mother, we were like, talking or showing them videos of us, just like, oh look, this is what mommy and daddy do. And they were so unimpressed. I was like, yeah, that's cool. Now, literally just probably like 3 months ago, they now are like, oh daddy, you're like the best dancer.
Yeah, they get it now.
Now they like, oh wow, you're Mark Marvelous. Okay.
How dope is that?
Like, and that's what I was saying. That's why I really want them to understand. Like, you don't have to dance if you don't want to, but this is what I do, and this is
what you can does.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want to do. Like,
yeah,
you just got to work hard for it and just make sure
you'll be supportive like your dad.
Absolutely,
mom was for you.
I literally have them in dance class right now. My oldest is very much into dance. My youngest, she's just doing it because her sister is doing it. But like, it's funny because like I don't think her dance teachers don't even know who we are. Like I'm like not on some big headed stuff. But like, literally
they don't get it yet.
They don't know who.
After a while they will.
Maybe I was like I'll just be in there. I gotta go take them to dance class Wednesday. I was like I just sit there and I'll just be like I'm just watching my kids. Like they just toddlers. I'm just
see, that's what it's about right there, man.
And it's crazy because like they like had this whole. I loved it because they had this whole Black History Month thing on the wall where they just put up different choreographers, black, ladies and men, and like you have Twitch and Debbie Allen and all these people. And I was like, I actually know these people.
That's dope.
Like, that's actually a bunch of my friends. I can actually say that.
Yeah, that's dope. Wow. That's
but then dope. I was like, I was like,
yeah. I get it. Well, thanks, man. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for being an awesome dad, man.